Good afternoon. I'm Devin Watts, and today I will be presenting my final capstone presentation for Nebraska Methodist College. Nebraska Methodist College goal is to have all their bachelor students become educated citizens. They do this through three goals. The first goal is to become the reflective individual. The second goal is to become an effective communicator, and the third goal is to be a change agent. Today I will present to you 6 reflections related to these 3 goals of the educated citizen. The first goal is the reflective individual level 3. For this reflection, I did a project for a formal synthesis assignment for Humanities 150 at Nebraska Methodist College. For this assignment, I compared 2 articles and looked at which article provided stronger arguments and present who I thought had the stronger argument and why. This experience helped me become a more reflective individual by having me engage in habits of inquiry such as judgment and critical thinking. The information I learned in this experiment can help with my public issue by having me look at all the information provided and helping find the solution to the issue. The next reflection I will look at is for my reflective individual level 4. This is for a speech I did in Humanities 150 at Nebraska Methodist College also. For this speech, I had to find an ad and identify the techniques used in its contents and write a persuasive speech related to the article. The speech had to identify techniques used in the ad to sell the brand. During my research for this speech, I learned different ways that companies advertise and use tricks in their ads to help make their products look better and make their ads look more appealing. This has helped me become a better reflective individual by using habits of inquiry such as logic and critical thinking also. The information learned in this experience can apply to an array of topics by having me use all the information gathered prior to presenting the information. My next reflection I'll look at is that of my effective communicator level 3. An effective communicator is one who uses critical thinking to generate, connect, and organize ideas in a written, oral, and nonverbal manner. My first effective communicator reflection is related to a persuasive speech I did for Humanities 150. For this one, I was to examine an ad and discuss its premises, then develop a persuasive message about the ad and its effect on its audience. This experience helped me become a more effective communicator by showing how the use of nonverbal communication can be effective, and by reviewing my speech prior to submitting it, I was able to see how I could better myself with my verbal communication skills. With regards to that, after I did my first speech, I went through and rewatched it. I found myself was speaking too fast. I was not enunciating my words correctly. I was correctly just too fast is my main thing. So by reviewing it, I was able to see how fast I was going and tell myself to slow down while I give speeches. I can use what I learned in this speech to remind myself to slow down and take my time while presenting to a group of people. My next effective communicator level 4 is from an interview I did with a nurse leader. For this experience, I interviewed a nurse manager who had an extensive history as a nurse leader. I was able to interview her at her office and went over questions I had previously decided to use. This experience will help me be a more effective communicator by showing the importance of communication in the workplace and new ways of dealing with conflict between staff members. I can use these communication techniques and the confidence I learned from the interview to improve communication with other staff or group of people. Next, I will discuss change agent. A change agent is one who uses the discipline of the liberal arts and sciences to analyze historical and contemporary situations, to develop cultural competence, and to take appropriate initiation to effect change. My first change agent level 3 was an interview I did with someone of a different culture. I had the pleasure of interviewing a coworker from Nicaragua and was able to ask her questions about healthcare in her home country compared to healthcare and her experiences in the United States. I was able to expand as a change agent by becoming more culturally competent in my learning about a different culture. I can use what I learned about cultural competence to be a better speaker and take into account the different cultures of those who I may be talking to. My next change agent, level 4, was a population focused project. This is a project I did. I presented to a daycare on the importance of wearing a helmet while riding a bike. The project helped me become a more effective change agent as it allowed me to take appropriate initiative to effect changes and use information and resources to analyze current events in my hometown. I can use what I learned in this project to help identify my target audience and present to them using appropriate language and information. Finally, in conclusion, throughout my experiences at Nebraska Methodist College, I feel I've become a more educated citizen. I use my experiences to become a more reflective individual, a more effective communicator, and a stronger change agent.